Sir, please introduce yourself.
My name is Claude Byron, Cid Byron, also called Six Coaches. I was born in Victoria Village, San Fernando, on 9 Chapel Street. My record with this band started since I was born in 1938. I'm 83 years old this year. One of the oldest leaders of Steelband, maybe in Trinidad, but I know in South I'm the eldest up to now, and the longest reigning captain, because I have been captain in Steelband since 1972 to now. Mathematically, I don't know how much years that is, 72 to 80, 2021. And I'm still around. I hope that sometimes I'm not 100%, I hope that sometimes I give up the band. But I had a flamboyant history with band in dealing with the knowledge that I gained from 10 years old, 9 to 10 years old. There was a band in how I came involved with the steel band. There was a band in Victoria Village in the Wardies. A lot of people in Trinidad don't know that. Maybe even people in South Central don't know that. The name of the band was Lucky Star. It was led by Joe Baptiste, captain, and they had a guy named Rupert Allen. I think he's still living at, I'm not sure. He moved out of this area. And I used to run up the land. In those days, the train used to run from Siparia to Port of Spain. Who had years to know that? Passenger train used to run from Siparia to Port of Spain. It had a halt where the train used to hold up to take up passengers. That band was in that halt.
But the area you're talking about, wasn't there the sugarcane train that
Yes.
has been passing here too?
Yeah, both of them.
Both trains?
Passenger train and the sugarcane train. So, eventually, I was about 9 or 10. I used to run, when I come from school, I used to run up the line to the hall to hear and see these guys play. They used to play up to all 9, 10 in the night, and when I come home, I used to get a lot of licks because my grandfather, I grew up with my grandfather and my grandmother. They didn't like that. They asked me where I went to. I told them I went to hear the band. They said this hour. In those days, only children who very delinquent, girls and boys, could have go wrong a steel banyard. Nobody else. Because if you go wrong a steel banyard, they're beating you with tambourine whip, especially in our area. Tambourine whip is a very serious.
Yeah, I remember in those days, people who beat pan was referred to as riffraffs.
Yeah.
And decent parents wouldn't allow their kids
No.
to go near a steel band.
You can't go near a steel band.
Mm-hmm.
So after I got a couple of lashes well by running up there, I was 9 to 10. Then the band Lucky Star, it came on it got defunct because I don't know, the halt didn't break down or something. I don't know the government, I think the government broke down the halt or something.
So they wasn't so lucky after all.
Yeah, they wasn't so lucky. But coincidentally, there was a guy named Lane Franklin. A guy named Lane Franklin was living close to where I live, my grandfather's house. And he went and get some pans somewhere. And he started a band. So when he started the band, I said, hey, a pan come next door to me. So I said, well, you know what happened? I went on and talked to him. I said, you open a steel band as a little boy. He said, yeah. He said, you work and play in this band. I said, why you say that? He said, I tell you, you cannot play here. Your parents ain't gonna go that. And two, the kind of guys around is bad men. Your grandparents ain't going to see you with them fellas. Like Keith and all them was the fellas I remember. Keith and all them fellas bad man. So I said, all right. So he went and tuned up the band. He was a tuner and a arranger. So he made some pans, and then they did that one a big band, was pan round neck. If you understand what I mean, it's pan round neck.
Yeah, single band.
Yeah. So he told me you could stay on the fence because there was a lots that had one lot here and one here. They had no fencing. So I used to stand up on our border and watch them play. So then one day I said, you know what happened? I'm making up my mind. I'm going to run over there and start to play regardless of what my grandparents say. I was 15 years at that time. After the ban of the Lucky Star crashed. It went on till it reached 15 years. And then Lane Franklin opened the band. So I told my grandfather, I said, you know, I want to learn to play the instrument. He said, you go and study your books and learn to play and learn your lesson and you love cricket and football, go and play that. I said, okay. So when he said that, I feel a little disheartened. Well, eventually, I was sitting on the step in front of my house, and like water was coming out my eye. And my grandfather come and said, "Give me some tea." I said, "I want to go and play pan and I don't want me to play pan." He come back with the same talk. You like you going crazy, or do you want to embarrass this farmer here? I said, "No, I want to learn to play." Remember, I was 15 years old, eh? So when Lynn see it coming in the yard every minute, when my grandfather gone to work, he said, "You really like pan, but you breaking around coming in the pan yard. I dare take up a cocaine broom in the pan yard and I sweep it out and then start to play pan yard. I sweeping out the pan yard. And Lynn came from work and saw me cleaning the pan yard. He said, "Boy, you're a good young fella to have in this band, boy." He said, "I go talk to your grandparents." He really did. And my grandfather tell him, "You see what you're encouraging this boy to come and learn to play pan with all them bad fella, them bad ones for that kind of thing." He said, "No, why is the leader? I go watch his back." So he begged. Then my grandfather said, "All right, if you will watch his back, I'll give him a chance to come and play." And I had always like second pans. Now it's always seconds. In those days it was single seconds. And he said, "What you like?" I said, "I like that pan." I didn't even know the name. He said, "Oh, you like second?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Hang up." Your grandfather says, "He will let you play." He said, "Hang up a pan on your neck." So I hang it up. And I start to learn. One of the guys who used to play seconds started to teach me. So at 15 years, I was catching very fast. So the boy, I can't remember the boy, I think it's Joe or something, you know. When the captain came the next evening, he said, "Lane, this young boy you bring here, but he catching fast, boy, just show you a tune and he don't catch the tune already." Lane said, "Eh?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "What?" Because it had fellas who have hard head was learning to play pan and they couldn't catch. And first time I played in second. Eventually, we keep practicing, but we used to play in harmony, Christian and wedding and thing. We didn't know nothing about competition and thing. So while playing in the competition and thing, a guy came and he told us to come and play in the club. It had a club named Galaxy. I don't know if all you know that club. One of the biggest clubs in San. So they gave us a job to play in Galaxy. That's the first time I played out as a young fella. club up in that club, you know, it have all kind of off-key people and things. So we play there, we get a chain, then when you get paid, all you could get is about $2, you know. When we done play for the whole night, it's $2. So I said, thank God, $2 come like plenty money. Came back home. So one day, a guy got the captain so vexed, who he, a kind of vice captain, so when Lee not there, he used to run the bar. So we didn't tell him, we having a meeting Saturday coming, make sure we reach on time. So the guys...
Welcome Mr. Desmond and Hollis Smith to the live.
Yeah, the guys say, boy, you know come here, you want to tell him, listen, Lee say, this little boy taking a risk for my grandfather. He come in here, you need to practice in regular. All you come in and all you feel to come. All you can even handle the books. Them days, secretary in Cid Byron was just copy book and you take down where we play for you. That was all, you know, in a little copy book. He said, Cid, they didn't used to call me Cid that time. He said, I'll argue with him because they gave me to argue with him because I was the first child from my grandparents. And before I born, they don't give me a name already. They wanted a girl child. So when I fly out, when I come out, my grandmother said, leave the name just so. So I come a big man and they were still calling me Hazel. Even the guardian had my name Hazel. So I said, whoa, then I said, whoa. So the fella said, boy, then say, listen, you see this copybook? You take this. All of we play for mark it down and put it. You come like a secretary. It nearly had a fight in even. Because then boys say, you know bring me here and you give me how to handle the money and things. He said, all you missing practice, all you doing all kind of nonsense. This boy living next door, he must see about the band because I sweep out the panyard. I said, I still just sweep panyard. I don't know if I jump on me, I just still take cookie boom and sweep panyard. So I come and I get the secretarial rope. But it's no big thing, but I just call it secretarial rope, you know. And we started spreading, the band started spreading. And we reached in 1958. Because all these years, we didn't enter no Steelband competition yet. And when we reached 1958, we decided to play a mass called Navy Blues. One of the prettiest masks in San Fernando.
You mean sailor band?
Yeah, sailor.
Okay.
Navy Blue. We only had 60 people. And while going up the Piero Street, All Stars was coming down. Them days, the name, I can't remember the first All Stars they were. But anyway, the present name was Southern All Stars, just coming down. And when they look over at our band, they see this nice color, girls and women and things in the band. So they kind of get angry because they had 1,000, them had 1,100 people. I have all of that in it. They had 1,100, we had 60 people. So they come on the flyover and the band and say, oh, you're looking too nice. Or this country band, go back in the country. So we say, how we will go back? We don't leave the travel and come and see girls. How we will go back just so we ain't play no mass, we ain't go for competition. I don't want to call people names because I don't know if it might be dangerous. One dead and one still living. Old fella, them are real bad, you know? Them are very bad men. Men afraid them. They say, if you see all you again on the road, we go deal with all you. Alright, so we pass and we go up to the Roses. And when we make the wrong, you were surprised to know, Clifton, that Steve Byron used to make 2 wrongs in Zan and yeah, 2 wrongs. Now you can make a full wrong in Zan.
So what, they come down the coffee, go down to Piero?
Yeah.
Go down what, Sutton?
You used to go on the wharf.
On the wharf?
And come back up. 2 wrongs. With wrong neck. But now you can't do that.
Why? Why it can't be done?
Conventional is one, and there's too much band is
Oh, okay.
On the road and the DJs and all these things.
Ah.
So you're only making one round and you sometimes you're going to recover to go home. So the guy say, if we see all that again, we will deal with all that. So we went up Sheepyard, go down Coffee, go on the wharf, coming up I see. I was going to write a thesis, but I didn't have time to do it. And I got too old and I lose. My family tell me that's a bad mistake. I was going to name something, 300 feet of asphalt. A lot of people don't understand that.
Explain then.
If you live in San Juan or you and Roy, every year they have fight with Steelband. It always between Prince of Wales Street, like Grand School, and Wall Street corner. Go back in history and check.
So the calypso that talks about a Steelband clash, Mama Yo, if you see Cutlass, that wasn't about Port of Spain alone.
No.
So Sando has its own turn.
Well, I give you a story. So when they tell me, them days we saw, nowadays we going down Lord Street. Them days we saw come up Lord Street.
Okay.
And still come up the coffee. And when we break by Lord Street corner, our stars was coming down. And I hear the shouting man who another bad and say, hey, them miserable country boys are game boys. So we start to play going up. You know where the Bedo is?
Yeah. To go down? Yeah. I lived in Carlton Lane, but you had to go through by Pearl Island and them in those days to come through by the
when
map.
we reach there, like them boys shoot on the road and say, we go and mash up the pan and stab them up and things. So they come back up and they meet you, boy. But it's a sad story, boy. 3 people get stabbed in the van. I got cut here. And the captain, he didn't get too much of damage because as a captain, but he is known now. So they easy up. And they deal with me, boy. They throw me pan all down in the bed and thing. So we had to walk home and thing. This is why I'm telling you, it's emotional history. You know. We come up the road crying. You know. We walk from Coffee Street. We walk from Coffee Street to right in the road. So after the incident, that was Carnival Tuesday. The rest of Carnival where everybody said, gather in the village. Everybody gathered in the village and they sat down. We can't go back down the road for Carnival. I go get licks again. So somebody who was older person says, oh, we go down now. We say, well, we go just play pan. We go just play pan. And Christina, thing as usual, how we just play. If anybody have any little shop bar or shop, we go play and thing. So Carnival was coming up in 1959. So in 1959, them all departments from our area gathered up and they asked me, they didn't ask the captain. They said, what are you doing? I said, well, me, you know, if I was afraid to go down the town, I go in with free French. They said, why you pick free French? I said, well, I know men who play in the real bad men playing in free French, I go in with them. So, then he said, anyway you going, we follow you.
Like when Free French used to be behind the old ice factory where Southern Food Basket is.
Yeah. So, when they say that, I say, are you going with me? They say yes. All right. Ashton, I can't remember all the boys' names, but they say we following you. And we went up by Free French. So them boys say, hey, little red man, you come to join me here. Them they glad, eh? I say, yeah. So I joined them. So when I joined them, the rest of fellas fall in. I had a kind of tendency leader since I was a young child. It's a fact. My mother did not come back home, and my grandfather saying that. They said, this boy, my grandfather was the leader of a Bamboo Band.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not the one from Gasparilla?
No, right here.
Right here?
This village has plenty history.
What was the name of that Bamboo site?
I think they did name Victoria Players or some kind of
yes.
Yeah.
You know,
a Bamboo Tambu. My grandfather was the captain of that band.
It is alleged that Bamboo Tambu preceded Pan.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Why the band was up, I tell the name Lucky Star. I don't want to make me, I tell you, I remember certain history. While that band was functioning, my grandfather them used to practice out the road. That a soda seat. There is a dump soda there, and then used to go out there with the Bamboo Tambu. And when they're ready to play, they come in the road because long time they didn't have much car. So the Bamboo Tambu, a lot of people know that. It had to remain for a tea in Bamboo Tambu, you know. The small one, I just do. Second side, when you go down to the base, you know.
One note.
Yeah?
Each one is one note.
Yeah. Do re mi fa sol la ti do that. Now we say it's 8. Sometimes a man want to get up so he go squeezy and do alone, you know, behind note.
As you say that, you remember there was a time when those the orange spans used to play the same do re mi fa sol la ti do.
That come in after.
After?
Yeah, them things come in later.
Long after.
I can tell you where them things from. But the Bamboo Tambu now used to have songs, and I used to go out there as a little fella and listen to them and things. I couldn't play. And when they go in song for carnival, I talk about when I was small now. I used to follow my grandfather and my grandmother. I used to hold my hand and we go down High Street and Monsago Street and all them street and thing. We had more cane than anything you were more than cane. The whole island is really cane.
But said in those days the streets were two-way, all the streets were two-way, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't know set up one way. It go down and come up any street you want them.
Okay.
Then it was the borough, you know.
Okay.
So when you get
Right before independence.
Long before.
So when I see that, I always at small but I said I want to go back to the Lucky Star where I told you about the band now the band again, Crystal. They tell me what I say, okay, let me go with friends because we can't run back to run the way. I have started with friends. I have second money. I double second. Double second is for me. Go ahead. So,
Cool.
yeah. After the name of the Fusion Steelband was the great Emile Zola Williams. Emile Zola. And he said he heard what happened with our band on the road. He said that sympathized with our band. I said that was not good. Maybe years to come, this is what I could do, maybe years to come, it might be around.
Cool.
The captain of the Fusion Steelband was Emile Zola Williams. He took a liking to me because he was always sad of what happened to the band.
What?
Yeah. While with friends, Zola had a tendency to carry very good military marks. He went as French Foreign Legion, because the name of the band was Stephen. So the French Foreign Legion went on for 2 years and we won big prizes. Then after years go by, And in 1963, a band Gondolier was formed. A breakaway from Cavalry, James Cavalry. And when they formed, them guys up there had known some of the boys in prison. And they came and they asked us, they asked Zola if, because we had a problem to go to Panama in 62. Kind of understand that some members and all that. So Gondola said, well, only come up and play with us. So that was one of the best things French had did. Gondola played tribute to Kennedy, one of the biggest military bands, like bigger than our style. Tribute, you remember when they assassinated President Kennedy? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, 1964.
Right. We played that mass with them. It was successful. Everything come out with top prize and all that. So we went, Gondoliers went Panama and we stayed them another year. All this time we still in French now. But they didn't make any Panama, we just came back, we went back to France. And when we went back to France, in 1972, Zola said, I'm getting tired and old for the band. I'm going to act as advisor. That is what Zola said. So we called a meeting and they voted a guy named Patrick Levy as captain of Chiefs. And Zola stayed in the background and just giving orders. Because he had the experience of Cid Byron. Lively took the band in 72. In them days, it still had the baton thing in Syria. So it had a particular band blocking on the road. And Lively as a leader didn't go to Saturday. To compromise with them to see if they could clear the road. They blocked about 60 bands of cavalry and band. Our band was about around by Pretoria Street, that distance. I show you my band lineup. So my two children was on the floor. So guys, I guess I'm ramping in town. My two children were on the floor. So I started cut on my right side of the street. They said, we take holding me back, we had to go home. So I walk up the road. And coincidentally, I don't know if he was in the band at the time. I think they were named Destroyer or something. Fire, Fire and all that.
Yeah.
Bongi, Fire.
Not Destroyer, the band was named Valias.
Like from deep south?
Yeah,
Valias, I see.
Another place.
Yeah, Valias.
Valias?
Valias.
Like before?
No.
Mouton?
Before Mouton was
Before Mouton was Valias?
Yeah, it was Valias.
Okay.
So they were kind of bad in school.
Yeah,
so them block the road, fire wire, fire, Bongi and all of them. Yeah. I woke up in a very small cell. I said, excuse me. I said that band behind you already waiting. Fire was a razor man, he used to work with a razor. So when I said, excuse me, if that band is cheering in the back there, want to go home. Fire, I said, who are you talking to? I said, talking to you. I don't see why he's pulling razor and things coming on the camera. So, Browning didn't know me. So Browning said, well, that man is a real miserable man. He talking to fire about me. He said, you pull razor. He said, you miserable too, you know. So, we cannot cool it. What did happen to Valiap's float? I think the axle break or something. I remember the axle break, so I tell him, I see if all them move that float, we're going to come through, you know. I pass by the side and damage or anything. So Brownie and them get together, fire and everything. And even me too. And when after I woke up and maybe the band passed. So the next day, Zola said, yeah, what happened on the road? I said, yeah. So I fella said, I remember you used to play panel here. by the ice officer. You know we can need it? Like this the captain of the band and like this they don't take and drink and say that go and see body band and things and look at him he go or you can stay in the road and things. To shorten everything, they call a next meeting next year and they put me captain of the because I was more aggressive than I do. The police, I think he did.
No, I'm not sure. In America, I saw him in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
In America.
So, remember I said I report his last captain because he's more vigilant than I was. So he was opening captain in 73 and I only ban. I come and get sponsor from OWT. OWT is one of the biggest union in the Caribbean. And I just sit down on the big table actually, but maybe I was really reaching on the surrounding. Then you can have general meeting in town. Every committee member. Sometimes I don't go up. You know who used to do it? Everybody knew that there was something. And there you go, whatever you do. The sponsor the band. So we get that sponsorship. In 1978, that incident happened in French Yard. All the time I was running the band with him. It was tough. But they wanted to I was in after cafeteria, the commercial and bank cafeteria. But we tell me to bring up that for you. Men, men go on behind my back and pulling the jogging up by the door running on me. Hey, the one there out around me. So how I got to know that? Because a little boy, I used to buy bara and biscuit and everything. A little boy. Everything happened, you said, being necessary. You said, I'm sorry, then by coming to say, the para and everything. So when I hear that, I see that, I say that. In the meantime, while that was going on, these people up in the village were hounding me down to come and open up on me, find it and all that. I was confused. My wife and all, you running up the band and we hear me going on up there and all kind of things. Then they go put you in trouble and all kind of things as the captain. So I got a resignation letter and I did your duty. When I did your duty, you see the band is a democratic band. And you don't tell us hope that they silent with your resignation. He had been acknowledged and said that they gathered in tell me that. I said, one man, I think you know him, Mr. Noel.
Mr. what?
Noel. He had, after a grenade, and he had that kind of thing. Mr. Noel tells George this. He said, Jad, he said, talk about it. He said, Jad, the band going good all the time. All of a sudden, this boy, sending a resignation letter, something going wrong. We're not thinking. By the two staff men from the Regina. So George walked back to the chair and said, I don't know. So he tell me why I hear somebody come and tell me about my man in the travel. And he didn't tell me that openly. I hear that. But he didn't know about it. He was setting up to the government. Well, I come and I took some old pants from the back of his room. We had a drum set, we said like when the Cressy present, we had the most expensive drum set in Trinidad, not in South in Trinidad. George said that when you must be present, he said like everything like them, sellers in America, he said like that. I leave the band here, he said like, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, 2 weeks after. 2 fellas from people coming here. I might have accident or fellas, don't happen. But they were only here. And they said, the band has something. They say, yeah. said, man, I get here, and he said, they're going to have about 7 tenants. New bank, they're going to, I said, who's going to it? They say to call me name them people.
Why?
They were scared to call me name them people. So I said, I don't know, why not they are doing? So in the meantime, while we were doing that, and third week, expensive gunshot disappeared. Water come out my hand. All I was up there. After a gun with the gunshot, so I think now it's bad. And we're only 40 years down there. I ain't calling no name. So that's done. I start my gun now. When I start my gun, how I do it, nothing fun, and then when I had money, and they send me where I want. Because they want to have money there, like up here. I said, we want some fun, and we want a shed. So we went all the road, and they gave us lumber, and we got a shed. You know, Jenny's work over there. Station Jenny's. And we put up a shed there. So shortly after we put up a shed and we carried, we found that then they went to the fence there. Now we start up the down there. That's all going on. Thank you. In the meantime, while that's going on, after I knew Winston Graham, I don't know if you heard of Winston Graham. He was the man, the chairman of SSM, Southern Steelband Movement. They were looking for leaders at the front bank to form a group. Because in those days, Alan Smith was given a lot of problems. And the government was given, he said the government was given him problems. So he got a ball of country down. So I came back in the village, as I said, and we started. You were surprised to know that the only two bands in South started a band in June and went Panorama the next year. 6 months time was Panosonic Connection in South started by Steve Byron. One of the only two bands did that. So eventually we got a lot of help, mostly from the businessmen in the village, and we started the band. So the name El Cid came at the headmaster from a school was passing, and he said, Basil, you're a madman or what? I said, what do you mean? He said, I hear everybody saying that this band, a principal of a school, you know. He said, I hear everybody say you're going to Parma next year. I said, you better believe that. He said, why I have to call you a name, boy? I will call you El Cid from now, boy, because El Cid is the only man that tied down on a horse and win an army, a battle, you know. First they afraid him. I said, I will call you El Cid. And that name stick on me up to this day. They still call me El Cid. Cid, they shorten it and say Cid. And I held on, fight, hustle. I scarcely get help from them fellas. I don't know anybody, but basically most of the things, because when you tell them big boy to go anywhere to help you, they ain't going to no office and all of that. So I had that trend of hustling since I was in Free French down to this band. And eventually, the band went on for years. We went on the road, and but this guy, when Winston Graham came, it had problems with money in Trinidad in the steel band world. So when Sangram sent for me, he didn't know me. He sent a guy and said to tell the captain of that band to come down, I want to see him. So I went and see him. The destination was by, you know where John had the end of the coffee? You were surprised to know. We used to keep meetings before we named the organization in John Inn. We used to have a table around there. Me, Antoine, Gibson, a fellow was working in the borough.
Milton, why?
No. Why wasn't in that? Why would nearly oppose us? I give you true history. People let's call it, them fellas, when the things start to move up, them fellas was choking in themselves, you know. Let me tell you who started SSM. Winston Graham, Antoine, that boy used to run Silvertone. I don't know if you remember he.
Antoine,
yeah.
He died here,
I hear he dead, boy. Mm-hmm. After Antoine was Gibson, Winston Gibson from the borough. Me and other guy, Douglas guy, I can't remember his name. It was about 5 of you from SSM. Our kill the national body. Here is Bacchanal. We went and we get one of the guys who was on our committee, your contact. We went in I don't call it a bank thing, we went in a particular bank and we get some money borrowed. Deciding to pay back right after the Panama done, we're going to run the Panama in Skinner Park. The whole of Trinidad talk about this. I will tell you how Pantrinbago communists and it nearly had big thing. We really went and get the money and we start different projects and we run off the Panama. That year in the Panama, the bands was hesitating to come as Fonclair, Hatters and them, but eventually they didn't come. Toadwool, Tesoro Toadwool, win the Panama that year. They come first with Jenny Penny commission tune when she win the Miss World. Remember that? She win Miss World and they make her a fellow named George. George arranged Penny commission tune for Tesoro Toadwool. They come first. And who comes second, I think was All Stars. One of them band comes second. It's 2 more years I can't remember. I have it written down home. And him Smith hear that and come down by Mahabir. Mahabir was the Minister of Labour that time and he was from he was from South.
Princess Margaret Street.
Yeah. He come down and we see him. We started trailing him from Siberia. We were walking. Come and say, look at him Smith down here, but he gone by Mahabir. But here will come and happen when he go by Mahabir. Mahabir and Eric William was partner because they're in the same group, PNM. So Mahabir, like he sit down with Eric William and tell him boy seen trouble for money. That is why the Southern Steelband movement formed. And if all look sharp, he telling Eric William, if we look sharp, them go take over the spanting in Trinidad, you know. Because you see what they do in St. Pete, you see how they have band win and all of that, and we pay all the same night, you know. Them they didn't have no crime with gun. They didn't stick we up. We had the money in our pouch. And we went carry the bands who win and thing in the back of the under the stand. We cabaye so here. And we pay and thing. Hey, boy, a meeting call in town. And M. Smith called a meeting. And I don't know what the role and Eric William talk. But when M. Smith started to rebel, they went and they get money from somewhere. And they announced now on the newspaper that they're going to raise the incentive for all steelband in Trinidad But SSM didn't have that kind of money to pay out for first prize and thing. Because remember, it's only 1 year ago we didn't start. And it went down good. Boy, first band jump out was Hatters. Second band jump out, Fontclair. The third band jump out, I can't remember the name, from down south, deep south. I think it's Variat. One of them big band jump out from SSM, you know. Mm-hmm. So them going in town for more money now. So they make it about South again and the competition. So when we do so, some of them bands they come in and they talking, you know, sheepish. Boy, there's more money. If all you know, all they raise any money, we go stay. But then we like the bright lights, you know, tongue in the savannah. How are you, you know? I say that you're not talking about. We just think that kind of, you know. So, we call a meeting, an emergency meeting. Gibson and Graham, all of them, I and all, we say, but you see that? We fighting a losing battle. Let we go back in the Panama in town. And that was the last of SSM. And, well, South people was more quarreling than North people. There was more quarreling. So eventually it come and died. Everything died down. But what happened is, Anna Smith come and telling everybody, is I will fight to get that money for them and always glad telling South Band that in their face. Always glad and thing. So the Panama come and went off. I message here. So 79 didn't have no Panama. It only had preliminaries. 1979, because I remember when that boy say he going to come and arrange something. We couldn't go because the Panama didn't come out. And we stayed, it only had prelims rather, it only had prelims, and that was it. So eventually, the band was Panosonic Open, as usual, as I told all you, with them guys from up here. And the band stayed, we go, and then the band started to progress, Panasonic started to progress, and we went for some of the big names. In the 70s, they categorized Steelband because the South bands, beside Hatters and Cavaliers, never won a national Panama. So some of the bands, we had a meeting in the bowl and then boys say, you know what happened? We got to categorize this thing because we can't beat desperate. If you check 12 bands in tongue, you can't beat none of them. You understand what I say? If you check 12 bands in tongue, just 12, you check 14 or 16, you can't beat none of them. So they categorized the bands and they had more small, medium and large. So when we start to look at the money, that is how we end up. This band used to go in large, you know, I mean bigger band, you know, all them pan I give you anything. When them boy hear that everybody shrink their band because you couldn't go, they had 70, 90, 100 and all that. So we shrink our band. We put high pan all in the back there and all that. The rain come and lick it up. And we come and employ that guy from All Stars, Hollis. You ain't know Hollis. All you know them fellas. Hollis was All Stars arranger. Then I come and I take this boy, Pro. I come and I take Clive Bradley. Different story. We make semis with him. And down the line we come in. We was the first band to enter. It had a competition named Best of the Rest in Trinidad in those days. We came he came second, he came second to the big famous All Stars. Them come for we come second. Best of the year. So a big competition, you know. Yeah. And the achievements we make other achievements and we spread. Bradley come and then this guy what is his boy name? I just forget the name so fast. Roger Charles and Biggie Hines and Keon D. Last. All them is young fellas.
They were my students at present senior computer.
I the first captain employ all them fellas. I telling you.
And they passed through pro.
Ramsey, yeah.
Yeah, sure, all of them.
Yeah, all of them pass through pro. And I take them when pro, it had a story with pro. 4 years he deal with you and then all them is, I don't know if to say these things and it might be good.
Say it. If you don't say it, who will say it? Because so many of us know this.
Some bands, a lot of bands start to rush pro. Because you get kind of big up. A lot of bands from the east, band from north, all about.
You mean after Pan by Storm? Or?
Yeah, well, Pan by Storm was with around our time. And then we did play champs and all of, we did make the final together. Fun Clans, Panosonic make the final together to pro. And then from there, pro get really elevated. Band start to come and grab him.
Ain't he arranged a band in Laventille?
Yeah, song specialist. But my heart get broke. Because I will tell you how I had get broke. Because them fellas just sit down in the banyan and watch me and see what I doing. Because sometimes you have seen him, you know, he going by the other bands and say, give you a half pick duck and then we come and we lost. And we decide to retrench him then. And that's how I went and I bring Bradley and Hollis and all them fellas. But coming down the line, in dealing with things of me personally, I personally did a lot of things. This Pan Adoption program here, we won this 3 times when it started.
When you say adoption, does this mean you adopt a school?
Yes, we adopt convent. We had convent in this yard. Look one of the picture, they rip it down. You see? God, who take down? Look, they take down the picture from the. We won 3 years straight. And band started to quarrel and say, but how you go win 3 years, we done that shit and all that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. We done that. So, well, it was a sad thing, but we had also go with it. And coming down the line, we make little semi-finals and things. But we started to get a little problem when I started hiring all these guys. We used to make South, like South final, but not national. And we stayed there. And it's an achievement I want to tell you about here. That we did. Darren Shepard came in and he put us in finals 3 years straight. National finals. He put us in that straight. And the rest, after that, we had to take some people to arrange and the band started to go down. And it reached that stage that I went and get this boy from Maureen's. The guy who with me now, Riggy, Junior Hines, a very good arranger. He with me now. He put us in semis 2020. That is last year at Panorama, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he put us there. They scratch up on them because the girl didn't write it very good. And that was it. And we keep on going. We make with the last arranger we have here presently. We make 2 semi-finals with him, and we there. And then we started to run little barbecue and little bazaar. But one of the biggest things happening in Trinidad is that I went in Port of Spain and I talk about it. We don't have bar license. And there was a new thing that came out from governmentals that if you want to get a bar license, you have to have EMA, 6 police, you have to have fire services men, all kind of things. That was the last time we run a big project here. A big project. People from all about. We end up losing nearly $9,000. They had to pay all these people. I went in first when I told Miss Ramsey Moore, and she said to come to her and discuss that, because I said if bands in South don't get bad license, they ain't going to be making no money. Because the barbecue thing and curry and thing, you're making $2,000 by the time you get the truckman to bring on. It makes no sense. That's why a lot of bands in South, not the sponsored band, very rarely they run fundraisers. I'm not scared to say that. How much bands is run fundraisers? Maybe more sponsored bands. So the pan fraternity in a kind of a difficult situation. You can be paying police, firemen and all these things, and then paying EMA and all these things. And when you're done, you put out $10,000 and then you end up paying out the same $10,000 and 2 more and all kind of thing. Makes no sense. So I stay with the band up to this day, and I thank God that all what I do and achieve, I can't. I wanted to tune this. Yeah, I can't hold that and see what this is going.
You could talk from
there. Yeah. That's one of my achievements, you know. A lot of people talk about that all in Port of Spain. They said, you take Kiondilas and Junior and all them fellas who arrange for you. I say, yeah. They say, but you really brave and you made semi-finals. During the course of all what I did, there was a big award show.
Okay, you can lean back.
Yeah, Anthony Williams award show. Award. Many other little awards in the course of my years. And the Panama that came to Skinner Park, people was arguing for years in Port of Spain and Sando. But when I told them, it's a lucky thing my sister, not my daughter and my wife, tell me, cut out that clipping. Hazel, one day you're going to need that clipping. I tell this America. That is when it nearly had violence in town. When it had this no Panama, no Savannah, no Panama, and all these bands, and them say they ain't coming down here and all of that. They ain't coming down here. So I watch wrong at all these South bands. Every one of them, none of them can tell me nothing. Every one of them, I do so. And I watch wrong at all of them in Savannah, and they ain't saying nothing. I get up, and I go on the podium, and I tell the president and all of them, I say, let me tell all you something. All you again, my band to come up in town this year, everybody started to laugh. The Southmen didn't laugh, but them Northmen started to laugh. And Bollins, Red man, what's wrong with you, boy? Why are you so miserable? You always want to play your talking and I say, well, all you feel are serious? I say, I go encourage a lot of bands from South not to come. Well, that kind of make them get stunned a little bit. They say, you go tell them, I say, how you not afraid to tell them, don't come. Because no, I am not trying to go. They must be the big boy. I said, the rest of the bands on Deep South and Central ain't going to come. Well, when the Guardian heard that the girl who write this story, Cordell Street, no, it's a Negro girl, she said, who's that man? But like she asked somebody who's that man, and one of them right there, she from Saudi, he banned him Panosonic or something, and she called me one side. She said, but you're afraid they beat you. I said, I don't care to dead. I don't care about death and things. Why dying for? I dying for my rights. I say it's overbearing that they were always doing us that. Why they always doing so people that? So she picked it up and she printed and thing. So it looked like Hugh Williams and Patrick Manning and they must be hear about it. Somebody went and squealed and say, you're here with a boy from Panosonic and they raised the money for them to come. They give them $1 million. And that's how they end up in Skinner Park. Other people talking about them know how it come and all that. Them know. It's when I talk and the government here I talk and it nearly had fighting tongue. Then they come and they raise the money. And I think also they win that year, I can't remember some of them band. Nilan Marcy. I think Nilan Marcy has been or something. And I hold on. I have all kind of achievements. I fight and get convent. All these things what? All these things I have. Oh. You could get it? Get out one day. No problem. You see this line here? This line here. This line is what they wrote about me. Right here.
You can read it?
Yeah. I'm going to start from Mary 2 in Panosonic Connection went to their frustration, but they didn't want to come, they didn't come in south. When it became clear that Pantrinbergo was still without a confirmation from the government concerning the competition, spokesman for South-based Panosonic Connection, Byron Hazel Six-Pocket, was one of the lone voices. She marked one of the, was no one of the, was me alone. Of the lone voices in support of the finals and possibly semi-finals in Skinner Park, San Fernando. Skinner Park, guys, I tell them, I say Skinner Park right now can accommodate the same number of people who are in the North Stand and the Grandstand. We only want to come and jump up in Grandstand. This led to a small round of applause from other South Steelband. That is when they come in now and they play, they clapping me now. This led to a smaller round of applause from other South Steelband members gathered, but led to an eruption of accusation leveled against Minister of Ministry and Culture, Hugh Williams, and Prime Minister Patrick Manning. There is a certain level of failure coming out of that ministry at that time, so they were supporting that they had to build the stand, and the stand had to build for it to stay in tongue and all of that. Anyway, so I have a lot of achievements, and you remember, you know something? I was telling a guy, me and a fellow named Sonny Kent was talking one day.
What's that?
Yeah, Sonny Kent called me and he was talking, and we were talking about history. And you know, long time it was flag, woman, was Jamets and them with flying towel and rag in front of Steelband, you know. I telling you that. Now we're going modern, boy. What they have models flying flag and thing now. Is them Sarah girl and them Jamet used to be flying flag with towel and rag and thing in front of Steelband. Yeah. And even the bamboo tambour had woman flying towel and in them, yeah. I still remember watching my grandfather about that. At the time, a lady named Miss Ruby, she used to go in front of the van. Then there's your husband and them watching you. I see in front of Cid Byron, you that jamet and all kind of thing. But, you know, and to be honest, Pan reached a stage now that they only want college kids to play by. Some men going in band and they say, yeah, what you boy? We hear you on drugs and all kind of thing. All them things going on.
But you remember it was a preacher, I think it was a Catholic preacher who invited a Cid Byron to perform in the church that made a whole lot of difference in their pan being acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. It changed around a lot. And then too, in the 90s, a lot of people who was in school, 90s and the 2000, coming on in 2001 and 2, and a lot of children from schools came in Steelband. But when Eric Williams came in 56, it still had riots, you know, pan riots, you know, yeah. But he have a hand in kind of quelling it, because Eric Williams is the man who started Crash program, you know.
Start sponsorship too.
You know Crash program? A lot of pan men get work through Crash program. Now they have a new name for it, I think it's CPEP.
Okay. Yeah.
And all these names. They changed the name many times, but the first name was Crash program. And a lot of pan men get work through that.
URP,
No, URP come after. I think it was Crash program, URP. It's the next name, some SSC or something, so now it's CPEP or kind of thing. But what I'm saying is, the violence in band started to drop because them fellas had money now in their pocket. Because most of the pan men in the 40s and 50s and the early 60s, some of them been working away. And but violence, who could outdo who, you know? Yeah, my Bontas and all them things.
Eric Williams was responsible for the sponsorship of steel bands.
Yeah. He helped.
When bands start getting sponsored, that was one of Eric Williams' brainchild.
Yeah.
That he sponsored steel bands, and you know the violence started.
Yes, sir.
And you know,
but
bands started doing different stuff.
You know the whole world. You know the whole now as I get old, the whole world takes Steelband, you know. The whole world takes Steelband, you know. Just now you're going to hear this say, but like as we invent this thing, it looking like it isn't that way unless we can do something real solid. That guy was giving me an idea, but talk all that too long to talk. But the whole truth is, everybody in the whole world, our culture, they take the limbo and they go on with it. They take in the calypso, no one's singing it all over the world, in them language, all kind of thing. They take the, everything Trinidad make is basically all over the world now. Because the, that limbo spread all in Europe, you know. Yeah. America take it first, I think, America or England, and then it spread. The pan start here, and look where it reached now. China have a big band like a symphony, you know. They just travel all over the world and all that, all them bands. A day, a fella, I was, you know what surprised me, Clifton? A day I was up by the music store on St. Vincent Street, where you name. I was in a music store, on the guy on St. Vincent Street, I remember his name just now. Like years ago. And while we looking for our items, a Korean fella come in the store, a little small Korean fella, a big man but kind of small dude. So he asked the man in the store for a pair of stick. So them brothers who working in the store with the owner say, "What you want a stick for, partner?" He said, "Just lend me stick. And the fella, I was there. The fella take this stick and that tenner hanging up and he going and he tenner going. So everybody just on the rock. Yeah, because they're shocked. The place gets silent. The man playing a
tenor as if he born here.
Yeah, tenor like a classic, something classic on the tenor in St. Vincent Street, you know. So I do so. My partner watch me from over, so he ask, "What is this?" I'm showing you them taking this thing serious.
Yeah.
And half of them inside of the store can't play pan.
But you remember there was a time we had pan in school program?
Yeah.
And then when Kamala came into power, she changed it and they call it what? Some kind of multiculturalism. Something.
Yeah, they were responsible for.
This was a great help. And we own PANMEN, this PAN adoption program. It was going national, and we own people kill it by saying Panasonic win it 3 years. They waste our time. We ain't won that competition. Look at it, it was on the papers, and a lot of bands didn't. So I still hold on to all my achievements, and I see if you could help me with anything. Yeah, all my achievements, and because to be honest, Clifton, my head. I was 83, as I told you. Yeah, and counting. I'm losing it a little bit. When I say losing it, not going crazy, but that things I'm forgetting. I will put down this book here, and I'll walk off and leave it. Sometimes I come in the panyard itself, I might take down a pan from there to shift it, to match it to the next one, and I just leave it and I go on. You know, all these kind of mistakes I'm making, so I realized, well, a doctor in New York told me that through age, your nerve, your brain nerve will get weaker, so you start forgetting. So here I am, up to this day. I'm trying to remember things that I did. There were a lot of things I think I did I can't remember, but I will try to help. What I will pray that the young people, there was this, you know what was embarrassing too? I could talk all these things, right? We're going to talk now.
Okay.
I could talk all these things. There was a gentleman in Canada with 2 girls, they went for vacation. And while they was in Canada, they went drunk by a steel band. It had mostly whites in the steel band. I think the only person who was black in the band itself was a drummer, I think. That is what the guy told me. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it myself. He told me, I think the drummer was the only black man. He didn't even know the name of the steel band because he just went on a visit. And one of the girls, the white girl said, one of his daughter, they play a stick. Until she plays something on the pan. You from Trinidad? Play something on the pan for us, please. You know. She just hand back the stick and do so. She said, I can't play no pan. She said, you cannot play the pan. The father said, if you could have opened up and take me, I take him. He said, boy, I feel embarrassed, boy. And my 2 daughters just grinning, you know, because they can't do nothing. How we end up in this band here, Panosonic? He went by some family, and he given them the story in Canada. And the family of his own tell him, but you should really put them girl young, you could put them to play a pan. He said, well, better go. She said, listen, go down in Victoria Village by Jenny's Walk, it have a band in there. I know some people who just go there. Carry them to Yole. You really bring them. They didn't even know how to hold the pan stick. One of my boys teach them. You know, eventually, when they come crack shot, they leave the band and go with other bands. Yeah.
bands.
Big name bands, yeah.
They go with big bands. That's always happening.
Yeah. But it don't bother me because for years I accustomed to that. Many other bands in South who had defaulted small bands in categorization, they losing a lot of players. Them players building other big bands. Yeah. They building other big band. So it don't bother me again that players come and go. We train over about 900 players pass through this yard. Could be more. All right. Yeah, so I think well, there's something else. I think I had forgotten something that I was to explain to you about a piece of history. Yeah. Well, I still have to thank God I have some people still roll with me as my PRO now, roll nights. I have Francis Joseph, he didn't come today. And one or two other people still around me, the older guys, older people who are around me still. And I'm happy about it. You ask me questions.
Yeah,
You ask me questions, I will reverse your questions.
as your PRO, Roy, could you add your 2 cents to this conversation?
Yeah, that's a problem. I was mainly responsible for this interview that taking place here. I realized that Byron is he's not. I wouldn't say he's getting old, because I don't really like to say you're getting old. I don't believe in people getting old.
He's a senior citizen.
He's senior, and I know he's thinking about giving up the mantle with regards to what happened around this band. And he had asked me to be with whosoever he decided to put the band hand in, which I will, and see that the band go forward. So I asked him to come in and do the interview. I contacted you, Mr. Clifton, and you give me the heads up right away. You say, yes, that is an interview I want to do, and all this kind of thing. And here we are today doing it. My pledge to him is that I would continue to see that the band go from strength to strength. Right now the band is a little down because COVID. As a matter of fact, COVID have everything down. Everything is down today. But we know that there's a lot of work to be done here, and I has pledged to him that I would do whatever is to be done to bring this band back up. Hard work, but I don't afraid hard work. Anybody who is around me know that I don't afraid hard work. I learned to work hard. It's something I didn't know, but I learned it. And we would continue to persevere to make bring the band back to what it used to be. And I know Mr. Byron here would continue to sit down. I tell him don't push too much. If we come to you and say, hey, we want to know something, let we know. Whatever. Yeah, you advise us, because you would have a little more knowledge with regards to. Although I have my knowledge too, I was one of the founders of Mutong Steel Orchestra.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
It was Tiantec Mutong at the time. I was one of the founders of that band. And I was also Vice Chairman of the South Central Regional Pancho and Bago. That was 1988. That was.
Before you go there, what about Hillside?
I never really was part of the band. I just lived close to the band.
That's all.
Yeah, but I always lend my support in wherever way I can to bands, because something I love. Okay. It's my love, the love of my life. Everybody else, So I say, well, you's phenomenal and all this kind of thing, but that lies my heart. I would do anything for the steel band movement. And we know that right now with the bands around the area, around the South Central area, most of the bands are in the doldrum because of the manner in which things are being done around the bands. It's not the way it should be done. You know, hence the reason come Panorama time, most of the bands in South have to do what you call bring in hitters, and that is costing the band a lot of money. And it's also, like for instance, Panorama, when you're ready to practice, the hitters not there because they're all around, running all around the Panorama. And we have to find a way to stop that. And I tell Mr. Byron here already that is one of the areas that we is going to work to change in this band. You know, when we pull up in Panorama, all our players must be there and stay with us. We take care of them, make sure that everything is good. So when we say, okay, we run our practice before Panorama, before we go on stage, we could run our practice. This year, this last year here, 2019, it couldn't happen because the whole band was a band of hitters, which is no good.
When you talk about hitters, are you talking about those so-called professionals who play with 2, 3 bands?
4 bands, 10, as much as 10 bands. It's tough people playing with as much as 10 bands, and we, as a region, we have to try to guard against that because it's not good for the band. It's not good.
But didn't Panosonic put a stop to that by saying you can only beat for one band in each category?
No, you could only arrange.
You
could only arrange.
Arrange as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel it will be very difficult for Panosonic to stop that. That is something that's I mean.
Okay.
This is a free world, you know, and it will be hard to stop that. But member bands would have to do your work in your panyard, so that when time for you to stand on your own, you can stand on your own. That's not happening right now.
Over to you now. I want you to tell me something about this cattle country.
Cattle country end up on our float, and the bus, we have a bus that we goes on the road with, that the name came from Mavericks Club. My son and the other guys up here had a basketball team named Mavericks. The logo was a cattle head. And there was this guy, well, he was a kind of a bad fella. When that first came out, he said, hey, we can cattle country in the panyard. And they bring a big cattle horn. And we put it, well, this was amazing, eh? They went and get cattle that was already killed. And they bring this horn. And when we put it on top the bus, the whole stand, everybody seen this big horn. Not them small horn, a big one from here to there. And everybody started about, hey, are you from the country, cattle country? And it started that way, so everybody started calling us cattle country from that. That's some years now. That years are over. I must say about 30 years back. About mathematically, this band is 78. Mathematically 78, and now is how much years? That is the amount of time everybody all of the coffee is called here cattle country. So that name stuck on us.
42 years.
42. Yeah. Well, we used to use the logo. We never use the logo in Panama. We only use the logo on the road for Carnival, Monday and Tuesday. So everybody knows that country. But I'll get a joke about that. When we hit Cipero Street and we coming up, most of the people in the town really is on Coffee Street, people from Monrepo, the Coffee, most of Cipero Street is only people from all Long Point, Barakpo, coming up, they be, La Romaine. They just line on that street and when they say, they just wave out to the band. Get the country, so it kind of get popular. That used to be on that street alone, basically. Well, them boys will be coffee and thing know it now. Because they just call the band. You going down by them boy, Cattle Country boy, you going down there, And two, as we also said do we in 1958, we was a kind of feared band on the road too, eh? The opposite to everything. So when we hit the road, the them band used to back down from us. I tell you the truth, when Cattle Country coming down the road, because it had fight something on the road, Yeah, it had fight something. Yeah.
Okay, some time ago, you were telling me about the acquisition of land in the area to set up your vineyard.
Yeah, well, this piece of land here, what we on right now, I was digging a hole on the right side of the train line, to get situation that I could put a vineyard for the children. As after we leave out the road by Jenny's Rock, facing Jenny's Rock, we didn't have nowhere to go. The people wanted back their land now. So we didn't have nowhere to put the pans. So that train halt right in the back there, you could see it from here. I have a guy living. I'll get a joke about that when we done everything, and I go ask him. I'll talk to you. You're going to have to ask. Nah. So we put the pans in there, stuff up high now. Yeah. And we started to dig 2 holes right out there by pointing. So somebody, I don't know who, or if a guy who working with the government passed and saw us digging these holes. We had about 4 holes dug. And a man say, "Well, brave boy, all digging up the government land, boy, we're putting the house." I say, "No, we putting a vineyard." And I aggressively answer him now, I say, "We putting a vineyard." I don't know if it's here, I ain't saying it's him, but somebody went and reported us. And the police came, and they saw us working. The police said, "Hey, hold up. No digging and no government land, state land there and thing." I said, "Well, we was on the road playing pan and they throw we out the land, so we come here." The sergeant said, "Now we ain't meddle with that. Stop. So we go be at peace." I said, "All right." So when the police leave, the borough police, them days wasn't city, it was borough. When he leave, we started to continue digging. But I don't know how they know we dig about 4 more holes. Because the train line now is blue metal you're meeting down there, The crowbar bouncing off because you notice here solid. The train used to run on this line. Hey, so the guy, about a week and a half after, I see the Jeep pull up. The borough Jeep pull up. I say, "Hey boy," so I had a friend with me named George. George said, "Boy, look, the police come back." I said, "Let them come now, man." So when they pull up, they say, "Who running this band?" I say, "Me." He said, "Go in the Jeep." I say, "Go in what Jeep?" Them days are like my heydays now. Because I grew up in the badge and thing from Pan. I say, "Go in what Jeep?" You telling me go in that Jeep? He say, "Yeah, I'm going." But when I see the sergeant and the other police getting more aggressive, I see like putting the hand by the waist and thing. I said, yeah, this looks like trouble, boy. So I jump in the jeep, they carry me down. When they carry me down, they put me to sit down downstairs. You know where the station is in the borough? Downstairs, you know. So. But they may know as a kind of leader in a community. After I leave French, I the man will name Block 5 on the coffee, you know. It have a area named Block 5. Yeah. I did block up that. Up to now, it is still, the older fellas are still called it Block 5. Between, you know where French, you know where French was?
Coffee and
say Maria Street. No, you pass Belgrove, the street after Belgrove.
Between Belgrove and
going up?
Yeah, going up.
No.
The street after Little Belgrove.
The side of Belgrove.
Oh, well, it's now called Belgrove Lane.
Yeah.
Street extension.
Right.
That and
we had put white paint and block on the cobble and block it off and mark a big block 5.
Because we are in the ice factory now.
Yeah. So we start from the ice factory and we went I'm trying to remember the street after
Maiden Street.
No, after Maiden Street is what street?
Superior Street.
No, we're going up. In any case, that whole block, going up. After Belgrove going up, so let me say Lower Hillside. We had blocked off from Lower Hillside straight down to French Yard with white paint. I remark, I did name it so. I call the name. I say call it Block 5 because them days OWT is a sponsor, so we didn't care. They come and hold me for subversive literature and thing in my by pass thing. Law come and ask me for subversive literature. Like when you are going against government and all kind of next long story. So when everybody see the Block 5, they start calling the area Block 5 and that stick up to when I leave up there, everything done. Because we had run a block and I get authority to block the road. I used to run one of the biggest block in the coffee there. Yeah, that's how the Block 5 name that come. And that's basically how Block 5 was formed. Yeah. And then you asked me something just now that has slipped me. Beside the Block 5. He asked me something and I was going to give you the history of it. Yeah, well I know, but no, something you were talking about before. But all in all, I had a lot of visions, you know. Like I born for like leadership. With all the pan going on, I said captain the band up here named Victoria United, you know. Not a band, a football side, you know. Yeah, we used to go and play Juggernaut League. And we used to play up in Juggernaut League. I talking outer pan. All that going. No. Juggernaut. Old Juggernaut. He died now. Yeah. He was the owner of a commission called Juggernaut Commission, and then it had one up in Gasparilla. So we used to enter. I was the captain of Victoria United. That was that was answer the question with the Block 5. Ask me something again. Ask me anything. Yeah. Yeah.
You are probably one of the oldest living panelists who started this movement.
I don't know for if you multiply, if you subtract iron pan 938 and 1048 when I was 20. I started play pan in 1953. 1953 from 20 1. 3 from 11 is 8. 1, 5, 6, 7. How many years that is, boy? 3 from 11 is 8. 5, 6 from 10. 4? No, nah, I'm missing. I can't see. Well, I started playing pan in 1953. I started playing pan in 1953. So that is 53 from 20, 3 from 11, 8, 1, 5, 6 from 48. I feel it's more than that. 20 or 1953 from 11. It had to be more than it. It's 60 something years I playing pan, boy. I can't do my math. I can't even see good. Do that subtraction for me. 2021. I think it's 60 something years. Yeah, it's 2021, 2021. 3 from 11, 8, 1, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 63 years, boy. Clifton. 63 years I play in pan.
2021.
63 years.
Where you start?
I started in 1953.
53?
Yeah. I started playing pan in 1953. I win 2021. That's 63 years. I in pan. But I am playing lately. I don't play pan, you know. I get too old to play. I just govern the band. Yeah, I'm the captain. I'm the leader. But 63 years I in pan. Yeah, I born 38. And in 38 and 10, 40, 1953 I started to play. I was 15 years old. Yeah. And a lot of men who was around me died and gone, you know. Leave me here, you know. I tell you, I meet an old fella the other day on Law Street. He watching me so, like, he can't even walk good. He watching me so. He said, Cid? I say, yeah. He said, you still around, boy? I say, yeah. I say, where you want me to go? He said, no, I ain't mean you're dead and thing, you know. He said, but I thought you must be home, lying down or something. I said, no, I just walk about. I said, look, I walking up the coffee, take a cup, nab it and go home. He said, what? And he was walking kind of a little shaky too, because he's about 78, 79 years. Yeah, I think he used to play pan with me in the old days. He used to play pan with me. So I have a lot, I pass through a lot of experience with pan and a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so in closing, I want to ask both of you the same question. So when we start with Cid, there are a lot of young guys sitting on the block and just lining.
Yeah.
If you had something positive to say to them, what would it be?
Put your emphasis on music, come in the panyard and learn to play your pan. Now what I did, Clifton, I always used to do that, you know. I always used to be the youths who not interested and who interested to come in the panyard. And sometimes I'll give you a history what tune. We were to go France at time to play pan, and the same people, my people, tell them they're going to rob all of the money, but you go over there like quite France, you know what happened with money and thing, and the band stay just it's kind of a, we didn't get to go nowhere. A whole long story behind that. But the point I'm making is, what I will tell you today, our Banner City, well, the villagers, I speak to them. But to tell you the truth, Clifton, this will make you laugh. If you check Victoria Village, and this was said by a politician on the news media some years ago, let me tell you the truth. Victoria Village has a conventional steel band and only have about 400 or 500 people. Current Road to Macun Street, the street right here. That's the size of this village. The smallest village in Trinidad and Tobago. I am sure this is the smallest village in Trinidad and Tobago. And it was marvelous why the guy came and went on the news media and said, boy, I passed through a village, the village only have about 50 people. You were exaggerating. He said, there was a band up there, you know. He said, when I went playing, he said, I telling a fella, but you only have so much people living in these areas up here. That Lengo and going up, them areas up there now. The fella say, how you mean we have no band? He say, where all the band is? He said, we band in Victoria Village. The man say, I ask all of that. Where all the band up here? They say, well, it's on the same route as we band too. He tell him man that he says on the same road. Quite longer, you know, he's saying that this is them band. But all in all, I just try with the kids. I just try. We meet them. Well, this corona gave us now because they coming out in the yard. Nobody coming out. You could talk to all day. Ask. Roll. Oh.
I had always wanted to have a program going, any panyada in, I always wanted to have a program going where young people could come and get themselves together with regards to learning the music or, you know, make things interesting for them around here. And that is the area we would have to go in order to see if we could pull some people back. I mean, as I say, the pandemic is, you know, it's devastating. It's crushing. It's everything you could think about. In the meantime, all we could do is to continue to keep our eyes in the panyard and hope that everybody would get vaccinated so that we could be close to each other and start, and so that we could have our programs going. But for now, I know we can't. Nothing that we can do. There's nothing that we can do right now. That's basically it.